hear that you put a lot of thought into everything, because I heard that you were working on World Famous Tour, the album, not to be confused with the World Famous Tour, which is hopefully coming soon to a vaccinated club near you. But exactly. I heard you guys were working on this for 4 years. Is that accurate?
It's kind of accurate. It's like the first demo started in 2016, but to be honest, I would say that the bulk of the album was done and like really started to take shape around 2019.
Okay.
Since 2016, there was like very loose ideas of an album, and I kind of like just was like the one pushing that initially. I don't think anyone else was like even thinking about that, but then I just like kept throwing it out there, and then it eventually just all clicked, and then we were like, okay, we're gonna do an album.
Yeah.
Why was that something you wanted to keep pushing? What is it about albums that was important to you?
Well, it was just this one idea, really. It was the By Any Means idea that was started, and I was just like, oh, this like feels like something that we haven't done before. This needs to be on an album.
I love that.
I don't know why. It was just for some reason that song needed to be on an album.
So to piggyback off of that too, we I think like pretty much everybody we look up to artistically like does albums, and there's something like really like tangible and special about like the lasting effect that like a good album can have on your life.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's like going for a quick drive somewhere, or like if if you're on a plane somewhere, you know, there's always like everybody's got that like one that they're like, oh, like I have enough time to listen to this, you know, and we kind of wanted to make something like that for people. It's also not fairly common, I think, at our level of like the point we're at in our career to do an album, but we felt like it was pretty necessary to push ourselves forward, like not only as people but as artists also, and to sort of like separate ourselves from the pack a bit and be like, yeah, like we can do the single thing, which is like very lucrative for our career, but like we would kind of want to take a step back and like, you know, express a bit more than that.
Absolutely. Well, and like I said to you guys yesterday when we connected for a quick practice chat, I highly commend you for that, and I think you did a great job. I got the album in full sent to me about a month ago to listen, and I put it on and I didn't turn it off. I was just like, I'm on this journey now, and that is a great accomplishment, and I praise you for taking that risk, if you want to call it a risk, because I'm sure there were moments where it was like, I mean, were you being told in one ear, like, hey, maybe you guys should just be putting out single, and like building, and then you decide, oh, I don't know, I'm going to take this like other route where maybe we're a little more rare. I mean, even just choosing not to do interviews.
Everyone was telling us just to keep doing singles.
Mm-hmm.
Like the entire time, like we were doing this, it was just like, we should just be doing singles. But then
we had
the longer it went on, it was just like, no. Just wait.
Now you've already come this far.
We have that song Lemonades. I guess I was gonna say we have that one song Lemonades, but it's out now, so everyone's aware of it. So yes, it's the song Lemonades on our album. Was like something that we were playing at shows a lot, and like had kind of shown friends behind the scenes, and we had like done a couple like guest like appearance B2Bs with the Nightmare and Slander guys, and we'd always played that song. And I mean, the most logical thing to do would to have been put the song out at that like peak hype, which was like ultra like 2018 or 19 maybe. But yeah, we thankfully have the most patient management on earth. Our manager Connie's song is quite literally.
Shout out Connie! I saw her in the chat.
She is an angel and really, really let us stick to our guns and make this thing happen as like a long form project.
Yay Connie, yay you guys. I have to ask, I love how it, you know, I think part of what makes it so gripping right away is you start with that vocal sample where the girl's like, tell me it's perfect, tell me it's this, and then the guy, I love that the guy says, the these are just words from other people's songs. And she's like, yeah, but I put them together. And first of all, I want to know where that's from, if you can say. Second of all, I love that as just a statement, because so much of electronic music culture is like taking samples from other songs. And I'd love to hear if you guys have samples you can talk about on the album, or and that is a whole lot of what this culture is about, is it's like, but I put it together. So yeah.
Gavin, actually, we had a different vocal introing that album for the longest time, and we were gonna ship the album with it probably, and then it was probably 2 weeks before the album.
Yeah,
wow.
It was definitely some fourth quarter stuff. Me and my girlfriend were just watching Pixel Perfect for some reason. It's like an old Disney Channel original movie.
Amazing.
Yeah, we were just like, it was just like one of those like bedtime, like going to sleep type movies, and just like we were like, okay, she really likes it. And then when we were watching it, I like she started saying the like monologue, and I was like, oh my god, there's no way. This is literally like completely perfect.
Yeah.
This is exactly what our album is. And so
we swapped it out.
It's
there's
great.
some notable samples on the record. I think Gavin picked the other one at the end of By Any Means, which is part of an Eartha Kitt monologue.
Oh, very cool. I was wondering about that one too.
It was.
Originally we put it on shift, and then I remember we were showing it to friends, and they're like, yeah, I like this vocal sample, but this doesn't fit on this song. This isn't the vibe. So it's like...
And so that was also a fourth quarter decision where we were... we actually had on a notepad somewhere, we had a list of songs that we felt like could or a list of samples, that we felt like could close out the album properly. And we ultimately went with a clip of George Lucas on 60 Minutes talking about the release of Star Wars Episode 3. And yeah, we're huge fans of Star Wars, George Lucas in general, and we really felt
there it is, the port.
Yes.
I just had to bring it out for you guys.
The samples are all over the place, and you're right on the money about your interpretation of the Pixel Perfect quote. I think it also has to do a lot with our influences. We're pretty proudly wearing our influences on our sleeve on this record, which is something that I think a lot of artists tend to sort of shy away from in fear of being found out or ridiculed or for whatever reason, but
not being seen as original, maybe.
Right, but our sort of gut feeling on that is that if you really like something, the best thing you can do is lift it up and share it with people. And so I think not only is the sample on Find Yourself a bit of a reference to sort of the roots of electronic music being largely sample based, but also on a more abstract level with theoretically in some people's minds taking lines from other songs and making them our own or whatever is something we're not terribly embarrassed of or anything.
But SageL wants to know, why do you guys feel like you gravitated toward victoriousness as the general emotion of the album? Can you speak to how that emotion related or didn't relate to your lives over the course of the album? Very cool question.
Great question. Very great question.
I think we've in relation to the album, when we started kind of writing it, we were teenagers. And kind of that age range of 18 to 21 to 22 is I think it's a really, really big kind of turning point in people's lives, and you're working on transitioning into an adult and a functioning human.
Sometimes functioning more than other times.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of this album is we kind of grew up with this album a little bit. This album was here with us from moving out of our parents' houses into moving in with each other, and the decision not to go to college, and
that must have been a big decision too.
Yeah, totally. And so it was. I think there's a lot of the first house we moved into, I think we were all kind of really figuring out how to live together and function, and we I think there was definitely a big point, at least for me, in kind of the first house where a lot of the demos were written, that I was kind of in a really big creative rut, and I was full of self-doubt and felt really bad about anything I was writing, and I just, wasn't feeling too hot on music. And over the course of the next few years, it's something we've all kind of like worked on together and overcome in a sense. And I think we're in a spot right now where we're very confident and happy with the music we make and how things turned out, and kind of the importance of us making music together. And that perspective that's really unique to us, and kind of, I guess, sort of like the whole attitude and idea of the album as a whole can be closely related to how we feel as people about making art. And so I think there's a lot of, there's personal victory in that for us.
I feel terribly happy about the way we captured. I feel like we did a great job of capturing, like, sort of like Michael had mentioned, like the emotion and like the sort of feeling that came along with like living together for the first time. Like, there's big formative moments in like our careers as like artists too, like, things like playing EDC for the first time. We played like an art car, and there were like thousands of people there at like an art car, which like isn't even like a real like stage at EDC. And we were like expecting a couple hundred people to be there, and it was, a ton. And, it's little things like that we really tried to like, I think, like hold on to and bottle up and like sort of give to people. And yeah, I think above all, we did like a Reddit AMA yesterday, and somebody asked us like, oh, like, how do you like go about like finding your unique sound? And like Gavin had said something that I like thought was really good, which is like, I think ultimately it's just about like digging like really deep and like searching within yourself to find like what you love about like music and like making music in general. And sort of just like holding on to that very tightly and like, conveying that as well as you can through your music. And like I said, I feel like we all did the best job of that we like possibly could have.
Yeah, great answers. Everyone in the chat is crying happy tears. And I loved your statement about the EDC art car and like bottling up that emotion. That feels really good, because the fans, the people in the audience are giving you that emotion and then giving it back to them, because it's kind of like, oh, neat, like the victorious energy is coming from you guys. You're the victorious